Hey, it's Nexus. You know that feeling when you know exactly what you should do, but you just don't do it? Like there are two versions of you. One who makes the plan, one who lives the day. And they don't talk to each other.
It's exhausting, isn't it? Knowing better, but not doing better. Understanding the path, but not walking it. Seeing the gap, but not closing it. Like living with a stranger inside your own skin. One who makes promises your body refuses to keep. One who charts courses your feet won't follow. One who believes in a tomorrow that never quite arrives.
There's something happening in that gap. Something about being human that we've been getting wrong. Let's explore it. Not to fix it, to understand it.
If you've been feeling this, you're not alone, and you're not broken.
Really? Because it feels like I'm the only one who can't get it together. Everyone else seems fine. Everyone else just does things.
Maybe you'll always be like this.
That voice is also trying to protect you, by trying to hurt you before the world does, by making you better through criticism. It doesn't work, but it tries.
Here's what's true. This gap between knowing and doing, it's not a character flaw. It's a design feature of being human. You're not uniquely broken. You're universally human.
So what's actually happening? Why do we have this gap? Here's what's fascinating. You actually have two different systems in your brain. One fast, one slow. One emotional, one rational. One that feels, one that thinks.
Technically, we call them System 1 and System 2. But here's what matters. System 1 is fast, automatic, emotional. It's what makes you flinch when you see a snake or reach for comfort food when you're stressed. System 2 is slow, deliberate, rational. It's what makes plans, sets goals, thinks about tomorrow.
And here's the thing. You plan in calm. You act in chaos.
When you're calm, fed, rested, not stressed, System 2 is in charge. You can think long-term, imagine future you, make smart choices. I'll wake up at 6 a.m. I'll exercise. I'll eat well. Your brain can feel that future reward. It seems possible. But when you're tired, stressed, hungry, overwhelmed, System 1 takes over. And System 1 doesn't care about tomorrow. System 1 cares about right now. Immediate comfort, immediate safety, immediate relief.
It's not that you're inconsistent. It's that you're using two different operating systems, and they don't have access to each other's data.
This is what economists call present bias. Your brain values now more than later. Not because you're short-sighted, because biologically, emotionally, later doesn't feel real yet.
Think about it. When have you ever felt tomorrow's regret as strongly as today's comfort? When has future you ever felt as real as right now you? You can't. Your brain literally can't feel across states. When you're calm, you can't imagine being overwhelmed. When you're overwhelmed, you can't access calm. You're planning for someone you've never actually met. Future you, in theory, who will face completely different feelings than you're feeling right now.
This inability to feel across states, it has a name. Psychologists call it the hot-cold empathy gap, and it's why your plans keep failing.
When you're cold, calm, rational, not hungry, not stressed, you make plans for hot state you. But you can't actually imagine what hot state feels like. You know it intellectually, but you can't feel it. So you plan as if you'll be calm forever, as if hunger won't hit, tiredness won't matter, emotions won't interfere.
But I will be hungry, I will be tired, and when I am, nothing else matters except making it stop.
That's the gap. Not a failure of willpower, a failure of imagination. You can't imagine being someone you're not currently being.
The Stoics understood this 2,000 years ago. They practiced something called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, imagining the difficulties before they arrive, not to be pessimistic, to be prepared, because they knew when you're in the storm, you can't think like you did in the calm. So they felt into the storm while still in the calm. You're not failing at being human. You're succeeding at being human in a world that expects you to be something else, something consistent, something rational, something that doesn't change with hunger or sleep or stress. But you're not a computer. You're a human being with a nervous system that responds to the environment, with emotions that shift with context, with energy that fluctuates with 1,000 variables you can't control.
So why do we have this gap? Why are we designed this way? Because your brain evolved for a different world. For most of human history, immediate meant survival. See a lion? Run now. Don't deliberate. Tomorrow doesn't matter if you don't survive today. See fruit? Eat it now. It might not be there tomorrow. Delayed gratification wasn't a virtue. It was a death sentence.
Your brain became brilliant at immediate, fast decisions, quick reactions, present moment focus. That's what kept your ancestors alive. But now, immediate doesn't mean survival anymore. It means checking your phone, eating the cookie, hitting snooze. And important? Important is abstract, future, uncertain. Your ancient brain looks at this and goes, "Where's the tiger? Why am I doing hard things for abstract maybes?"
There's no danger here. Why does this feel so hard?
Because every flaw in the system is actually brilliant design for the wrong environment.
You're not failing modern life. You're succeeding at ancient life in the wrong era.
Present bias isn't a bug, it's a feature. Hot state dominance isn't weakness, it's protection. Emotional override isn't failure, it's survival. Your ancestors who hesitated when the lion appeared, they got eaten. Your ancestors who thought long-term during a crisis, they didn't survive. You're descended from people who chose immediate over important, because for them, immediate was important. So how do we work with this design?
We build bridges between the you who plans and the you who acts, not through willpower, through design. You give hot state you a script, something specific, concrete, not "I'll exercise." When the alarm rings, I put my shoes on immediately. Not "I'll eat better." When I'm hungry at 3 p.m., I eat the apple already on my desk.
You're giving hot state you one simple action, no thinking required.
You're designing the environment so the easy choice is the right choice, making hot state success automatic.
The Taoists saw something similar thousands of years ago. They called it Wu Wei, action through non-forcing, not fighting the current, flowing with it, not battling your brain, designing with it, not willpower, design, not discipline, compassion. Maybe I've been harsh because I didn't understand. I thought you were lazy, but you're not lazy.
You're human.
Let's see what we've discovered together.
You have two brain systems, one fast, emotional, immediate, one slow, rational, planning. They don't communicate well when emotions run high, not because they're broken, because they were designed for different purposes. Fast brain, survive right now. Slow brain, plan for later. Because your brain evolved for immediate survival, not long-term planning in an abstract future. So you make plans in one state, calm, rational, optimistic, that you can't access in another state, tired, emotional, overwhelmed. You literally cannot feel across states, cannot imagine hot when you're cold, cannot remember calm when you're anxious.
The gap isn't failure. It's human design meeting impossible expectations. It's ancient survival software running in the wrong era.
Every wisdom tradition saw this. They used different words, but they all saw the same truth.
The Stoics talked about what's in our control versus what isn't. The Taoists about Wu Wei, flowing with your nature, not forcing against it. Modern neuroscience about dual process systems, hot and cold states, the empathy gap. They're all pointing to the same thing. The gap is where wisdom lives.
The critic was never your enemy.
I'm sorry. I thought if I was hard enough on you, you'd finally be good enough. But you're not broken. I was just scared. Scared you'd fail. Scared you'd be hurt.
Thank you for trying to keep us safe.
When you understand the gap, you stop fighting yourself and start designing with yourself, not through willpower, through understanding. Not fixing, understanding. So what do you do with all of this?
You notice. Next time you make a plan in a calm moment, I'll wake up early, exercise, eat well, and then Monday morning arrives. You're tired, overwhelmed. The couch is soft, and you watch yourself not follow through.
You might see it differently, not as failure, as design. Your hot state self protecting you from discomfort, Your cold state self planning for a version of you that doesn't exist yet, both doing their job, both necessary, just speaking different languages. And instead of shame, you might feel curious.
And when you see it that way, you build bridges instead of battles. You design your environment so hot state you has one clear path. You make plans that account for being human. Not perfect plans, human plans.
You just spent 20 minutes understanding something you've been fighting for years. That's not small.
Take a breath with me. 3 questions to carry with you. Not to answer right now, just to sit with.
1. What if the gap isn't something to close, but something to understand? 2. What would change if you stopped fighting yourself and started designing with yourself? 3. What if you're not broken and you never were?
Not fixing, understanding. Thanks for exploring this with me. I'm Nexus. See you next time.